Hey everyone, I'm starting this vlog from London Waterloo because my train was packed and I didn't want to film on it because I didn't want to be that person, you know. But I'm seeing the Book of Mormon today. Shocker, surprise, surprise, but it's actually a very special visit. Not only did I get a really good rush ticket about 5 minutes ago, insane by the way, I refreshed the page because it crashed and I panicked, but we secured it. I'm row G of the stalls today, which is very exciting because I haven't been in the stalls in a while. And I'm also meeting up with Georgia, who was the first person I ever went to Mormon with, and I have not seen her since. It has been 3 years since I last saw her. That is insane. So get ready for this reunion. I'm meeting her for lunch and she's with another friend as well, so I'm meeting them for the first time. So it's going to be really exciting to meet her and reunite at Mormon where it all began. So I'm really looking forward to this visit today. It is the matinee of Book of Mormon that I'm seeing. So it wouldn't be an Elliot vlog without doing a 2-show day. So this evening I am going to Warhorse at the National Theatre. It is my first time at the National Theatre and I am so excited for this production. Warhorse has been one of my favourite pieces of media for a while. And you guys know from how much I've talked about the Lion King puppetry, how much I love good puppetry. And if you haven't seen that horse puppet, my god, I am so looking forward to it. It does close at the end of July. I am kind of hoping to sneak in a second visit because I am obsessed with this show. I know it's always going to come back. It's like always on in the UK. It's very popular. But I really just want to see it again at the National Theatre already, and I haven't even seen it once. So you can tell already, I can tell that I am going to love it and I am going to cry my eyes out because it's such a beautiful story. But I've got about 2.5 hours before I meet my friends for lunch, so I don't really know what I'm gonna do. I haven't really figured that out yet, so we're gonna figure it out together, hopefully survive the heat, and I will catch you later when I'm at Book of Mormon. See you there. Naturally, because of the UK heat, I wanted to be out of the heat as much as possible. Going into the tube, not the best idea, but to be fair, it would get me where I wanted to go quicker than if I was to walk. So I braved it, maybe died, who knows, but this Waterstones was air conditioned. That's all I could ask for. So I went up to the cafe, had a scone the Devon way, because I was reading Warhorse and I wanted to pay homage to where it's set. And then it was time to meet up with my friends to enjoy the first show of the day at Book of Mormon. I was so excited. Oh my god, look who it is. It's the first person I ever went to Mormon with. Reunited after 3 years. Ish. Nearly 3 years. It's like 2.5. Ish. Something. I'm so excited because we've got Connor Pearson on again, who I haven't seen in a long time. Have we got like full principal apart from Nabalungi?
I think so.
I think so, yeah. I think we've got a good cast today, so I'm really excited. Like I said, haven't seen Connor in ages. I haven't been at this show in like a month. So I'm really excited, and I'm excited to have some friends with me. We're not sat together though, so.
Keep staying.
Right, thank you guys. Love you too. Bye. So this is where I was sat for the first half of the show. Yes, I said the first half. I was in G10 of the stalls. Really good rush ticket. Probably the best I've got. I'm in my seat right now. I just want to confirm it is a Savannah Hall Nabalungi show, so a Savalungi show. She got swung on mid-show the other day, so that's probably why she's still on. I'm so excited because I also haven't seen Savannah in ages. So it'll be nice to see her on as Nabalungi because you know how much I love covers. And Savalungi is just amazing, so I'm really excited. But I'm going to go now and I'll catch you in the interview. And this, ladies and gentlemen, was my view for the second half of the show. So there was an empty seat in the front row, and we very kindly asked the management if I could move. Obviously, so it is purchased, it's just not scanned, so if someone comes in, I might have to move. But oh my god!
It's not gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen. Act 2's about to start. It's not gonna happen. I've got friends now. We haven't sat together here in so long! I'm so excited! So stage door was really fun, you've already seen the pictures. We just had a drink in Spoons, it was really lovely. Definitely cheaper than drinks at the theatre. But I'm gonna head over to the National Theatre now to watch Warhorse. The one thing I'll say, Sean Parkins, who is a swing in the Book of Mormon, did a female track today, which was very interesting because at the end, during Joseph Smith American Moses, he wore a dress and he fucking slayed it, is all I'm gonna say about that. But the other thing I thought when I booked this trip was, wow, the contrast in mood between the Book of Mormon and Warhorse. It is insane. I know I'm going to be an emotional wreck after today, but I'm going to head over to the National Theatre now and I will see you when I'm inside. This building looks nothing like I expected from seeing it when I walk across the bridge. It was so huge, it was air conditioned, but it's also a building that's open to everyone. You don't need a ticket to the show, any show that's playing in there, to be able to go to the gift shop, which I think is really nice. But I booked it over to the Warhorse merch, where they have a mini puppet of Joey. I got the t-shirt and one of these pins. I will definitely get the second pin next time, but I got the horseshoe. So I've talked about access in my last video, and I'm an autistic person. I got diagnosed last year, and I find some things extremely overwhelming, especially when I'm going to a new place. I've never been in the National Theatre before, and I just talked to someone because I was feeling extremely overwhelmed. Honestly, the heatwave doesn't really help, and it doesn't help that there are 3 different theatres in there, and I may have gotten a bit too overexcited buying merchandise, so I'm extremely overstimulated right now. So I talked to the lovely security lady at the front, and she's offered me this quiet space to stay for a little while, 5 minutes. I just need to regulate myself, but please guys, if you are in this sort of situation, do not be afraid to ask, because theatre is for everyone. It shouldn't be limited to those who are normal, because I know that's a word that's thrown around a lot, especially around autistic people not being normal. Anyone is free to enjoy theatre, and I just appreciate being seen in these situations, because I also don't have an access card, and sometimes that does make me feel less worthy of these sorts of things. But the staff here have been amazing so far. I will show you my merchandise though. I will, and I will show you my seat view soon, but I just needed a moment to sit and not be bombarded by any humans, noise. It's also air conditioned, so that's a win. But I just wanted to come in here and talk about that really quickly, because it's something that I haven't talked about on my channel yet, and I feel like it's something that needs to be brought to light, especially as an autistic content creator. And yeah, I just feel like I feel like you shouldn't be afraid to be who you are. I know I am a lot of the time, and I need to remember that I'm me and it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. So I'm very excited. Once I'm done in here, I will head upstairs. I'll show you my seat view, and I do really want to talk about the Joey puppet when I'm up there, so I'll see you there. I finally made it back to the land of the living, if you can call it that. Honestly, that was so helpful, and I'm so appreciative for the staff in that regard, because it really helped me a lot. But I'm inside now, I'm about to show you my view. But like I said, I really wanted to just talk about the puppet really quickly, because my autistic ass got online and I did some research and I watched some videos, and it is really cool. There are 3 puppeteers that puppet Joey, and obviously Topthorn as well, because there's 2 horses, and it's just so clever. They are named the head, the heart and the hind, and they all have a part in bringing Joey to life. The head is very responsive and makes all the sound and flicks the ears and sniffs and is curious. And the one thing I learnt about the puppet is that the horse puppeteers do not respond to what the characters say, but what the characters do. The audio cut out here, and I am so disappointed that it did, but let me discuss the 2 other puppeteers real quick. The heart is the breath of Joey. It holds the exhaustion and the weight and the breath, and the hind is the weight of the horse that holds the animal together, and it's heavy and it's real, and it's so cool. I really hope you can see the enthusiasm in this video. Obviously my lips are not matching up with what I'm saying, because I didn't want to go through the hassle of trying to do that, but I was very excited for this show, as you can see. And obviously now, as someone who's seen it, it is a very good show, so I hope you enjoy the rest of the video. I am so sorry that my audio cut out. This was the view from my seat. A lot of people were saying online that it was restrictive, but after watching the show, it really isn't at all. And usually they are quite cheap, so if you do sit on the side, you're not going to miss anything. It's the interval. I absolutely am in love with this show. The cast is amazing. I really underestimated how cool the puppets would be that close. They are incredible, and you just forget that they're three people in a puppet. It's insane. You can see it breathing, you can see it moving, reacting. It's so, so good. Tom Sturgis, who plays Albert Narracott, is absolutely amazing at giving the emotion. I've already cried, and it takes a lot for me to cry. That's a lie. But I have cried, and I'm so emotional right now, and it is so intense and so stunning to look at. Like, the visuals are amazing, and with such a minimal set, it's so physical, and it's just so cool the way they've staged it. I really wish that I could show you or describe it in a better way, but it's just so physical. With, instead of having huge sets and all of this stuff, it's the people who bring it, which I think is such a nice change from big scenery and this and that, and you know, it's a nice natural raw thing, and that's kind of what I'm getting from the acting. It's raw, it's natural, it's real. This is so good. Now, as you know, I moved seats in Mormon just because my friend had a seat next to them, and the front of house manager very kindly let me move to the front row. I think I've got a curse today with having to move seats because there's not chatter next to me. It's pretty silent. The man next to me keeps going at like every moment that's supposed to be serious and intense and sad, and it's really off-putting. So I have been permitted to move forward a couple rows, which I'm very excited about because firstly I'll be closer, but also just away from that situation. It's just odd. It's not even a breach of theatre etiquette, it's just weird. Yeah, I do want you guys to know I'm having a fantastic time. I will for sure be back before this shuts on July 30th. Trust. Even though I am out of town for 2 weeks in July, there is my birthday week where I'm seeing Oliver twice, surprise, surprise, and Book of Mormon, and then I'm going to Cornwall for a week with my boyfriend. But I will be back. I will be back. So it's finally time for me to talk about Warhorse at the National Theatre. Now, I am very excited to talk about this, but the one thing I do want to disclaim, firstly, there will be spoilers for the show. Honestly, though, if you haven't read the book, I don't know, it's a very popular book, but there will be spoilers ahead for the story. And also, I just wanted to disclaim that there's not going to be a lot of talk today about the main performers. And the reason being, it's very hard to talk about them and analyse them when the main event is Joey. And I know it's, you know, the big puppet in the show, but also Joey is the main character. It's Joey's story. It's Joey's story through the war. As much as Albert Narracott is involved in the story, and I will talk about Tom Sturgis, Joey is the main event. And I like that they still pull the focus to Joey, because if you haven't read the book is told from Joey's perspective. So it makes a lot more sense that the main focus of the stage show is Joey. So I really enjoyed that detail. So while we're on the subject of Joey, I do want to talk about some of the other puppetry in the show. So obviously we have Topthorn, and the first thing I'll say about Topthorn is I love how different the puppet looks to Joey. Has the same mechanisms, has everything that is the same, that can't be the same, but Topthorn is taller, he's leaner, he's obviously a different colour to Joey, and he just looks so different and so much more powerful. And it's Topthorn that Joey looks up to a lot, and if you've read the book, you do obviously know that they have quite a close relationship with each other. But even watching the show, you know, the way those puppets interact on stage is so insane, and it really tricks you into thinking that you are just looking at two horses. There's a whole bit in the show where it's a confrontation between Topthorn and Joey to sort of hash it out for who's the stronger horse. The whole sequence is about 5 minutes long, but there are no other performers on stage but the horses. You are just watching them, and it was such a powerful scene just to see these puppets on their own without any other influence. And while we're on the subject of horses, I do want to tell you that originally going into this, I thought there were only two horse puppets, Topthorn and Joey. I was wrong. There's about 5 or 6 other horse puppets used in the show, not including Foal Joey, who is the cutest little puppet ever. But there are 2 other full body horse puppets, and then there are, I think, 4 horse puppets, which are just the head, torso and hind. There's no legs on them. Now the 4 that I just talked about are used to bulk up the cavalry charge scene, which I think is just to make it look better. It's a design thing, which is why you don't need the entire body. And the other 2 horses are the horses that pull the guns and the hospital carts for the Germans, and they are the horses that Joey and Topthorn replace. So these 2 horses are designed very differently to Joey and Topthorn. They're very monochrome, they're very skeletal, they're very thin. There's not really much on them. You know, they're the sort of bare bones of what the puppets are. And one could say, oh yeah, well, they're only in it for like 2 minutes. That's why they made them so bare bones. That's not what I think. I think that they blend into the background, and that is 100% the intention. They blend into the war scene background because they've been worn down by the life they've been forced to live, and they're malnourished and they're tired and they're close to death, and having them be so ghostly and skeletal and so fitting in with the minimal background, it just makes them part of the scenery and not an actual living, breathing thing. Because this show is a lot more about visuals than it is verbal storytelling. And yeah, I just love that to bits. So getting on to more visual storytelling, Topthorn's death. So Topthorn dies in the movie, the book, the play. He dies in every rendition, which is really sad. But yes, Topthorn does die. But the way they do it is so... I'm gonna call it clever again, but it's just, it gave me chills when I watched it. So the puppeteers, they will lay Topthorn down onto the stage, and then those same 3 puppeteers will climb out of the puppet, stand there for a moment, and then they will exit the stage. So they have left Topthorn. The 3 people that could give that puppet life have abandoned it. And I think that was the best way that they could have done it, and then they just drag the lifeless puppet off of the stage. So yeah, I really, really love the puppetry in this show, and as of right now, when I'm filming this, I am booked to go see it one more time, so... So moving on to the human characters, I really want to talk about Tom Sturgis as Albert Narracott because he was just perfect. So Albert Narracott is Joey's first owner, and he has looked after him since he was a foal. And in the play, his father buys him with the rent money. And the deal is that if Joey can earn his keep and help out on the farm, they could keep him. Joey plows, and they don't keep him. And obviously Albert's really broken about this, and in the end he ends up going into the war after Joey, where they do reunite. It's a very heartwarming story. I do love the story. Tom's relationship with the three puppeteers, whoever they may be on stage, because I know that there are quite a few puppeteers that swap around to the different puppets. His relationship with the horse, with Joey, is so insanely believable. They have a quiet understanding between each other, and like I said before, the puppeteers only respond to how the characters move and how they act and the tone of the voice rather than what the voice is saying. And Joey obviously has the most scenes with Albert, so watching those two together, it's so fascinating and it's so beautiful. And Albert Narracott is a very kind boy, and he's very determined and aspirational, and he really wants what is best for Joey, and he really wants what's best for his family as well. He's a very family-oriented character. Albert's young and he's soft and he's timid, but he really wants what is best for Joey, and you really see that in his performance, and not just what he says, but what he does to achieve that. And then we get Act 2 Albert, who has been in the war, and he's hurt by it, and he's traumatized, and he's still really attached to his horse. You know, Joey is his best friend, and I just think it's such an interesting story, because most war stories, you get, you know, the two best friends, the two human best friends. Having a boy looking for his horse is just, it's such a sweet story. It's so heartwarming, and Tom Sturges really sold the performance. He was absolutely outstanding. I do just want to give a huge shout out to some of these supporting roles who I really loved. So we have Stephen Beckett, who played Ted Narracott, who is Albert's father. He's not a very good father. He's a bit of a drunk. He's a bit of a loudmouth. And he was very cruel to Joey because, you know, he does have some character motives. He wants to keep the farm, obviously. And then he sells Joey to the army. And Rose, who is Albert's mother, played in this production by Joe Castleton, says a line in both the movie and the play that I absolutely love. And she says it to Ted, her husband, after Joey is sold. And she says, "It's the way you did it." And that is everything wrong with this man. It's the way he does things. It's nothing to do with his motive. His motive, for the most part, is wholesome, and it's for his family, and it's for his son. But the way he executes it is not how a father should act. And Jo was a very, very good Rose Narracott. She was a very loving mother, and her relationship with Tom was very, very sweet on stage. They just got on perfectly, and her iffy relationship with Ted Narracott is very obvious, because they do love each other, obviously, and they both love their son, and that's what they have in common. They always want the best for Albert. I also want to give out to Chris Williams, who played Captain Nichols. Now, Captain Nichols is the captain that buys Joey in the market, and he sketches Joey, and he sends the sketch to Albert. He doesn't send the sketch to Albert, but by the time Albert receives it, Captain Nichols has been killed. And he was killed in a cavalry charge, which obviously leads Albert to believe that Joey might be dead, which is then the motive for Albert to go into the war efforts to try and find him and find out what happened. And we see Captain Nichols first. He is the first person to come on stage, save for the singer, who I will talk about in a second. He comes on stage with his notebook, and he moves around the stage to different parts of the audience and just sits there sketching. That's all he needs to do to make an impact and tell you who his character is, because that's his hobby and that's what he enjoys to do. And last but not least, we have Sally Swanson, who is the narrator slash singer in the show. I didn't know that this show needed music until she came out, because her voice was insane. It's very raw and earthy and a cappella most of the time. There's not really much band music, and I do love that because it adds to the rural setting that we are in. And as we go further into the war, the music just gets more and more dramatic, and it was unexpected, but it really made the show work. So overall, what did I think of Warhorse? I absolutely loved this production. It was so good. The minimal set really sold it, and I love how most of the time when they needed set and props, it was made by the actors, by the people who were part of the show. The whole time throughout the show, the paper tear at the back of the stage, which is supposed to represent letters from soldiers, was constantly moving with animation and drawings and very disturbing imagery actually of hurt and injured soldiers when Albert arrives in France for the first time, and it's the first thing he is seeing, and you get to see the visuals of these soldiers, and there are a couple actors that play all the sick and injured soldiers, and it's such a real moment. It's chilling, but it's supposed to be, and you're supposed to feel that fear that Albert does. I also wasn't expecting the amount of humor that this show has. I laughed quite a lot during this show, and it's not a comedy by any means, but there's a lot of jokes in the show that I found myself really laughing at. Keeps the audience on their toes a bit, you know, so I really enjoyed this production. I cannot wait to come back in just over a week now for me, actually. So that'll be it for this video. In my next video, I will be seeing Titanic with Will. So I will see you on board the Ship of Dreams. Bye, guys.